Yo, what is up guys? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. I'm just out here in my previous high school. When I went to high school a long time ago, I just got a Lavalier. It's pretty interesting. Hopefully it works really good for my future videos. But anyways, I wanted to make a video for you guys on a very controversial topic regarding if you should own your property or you should actually rent, or if you should actually rent your property. Now, before I go into this topic, I wanted to talk about it purely from an investment perspective. I don't want to be talking about it from a comfort perspective, because a lot of people will probably take it that way. I want to talk about it in terms of which choice can actually make you more money. So for this video, I've actually decided to prepare something for you guys with investor number one and investor number two. So investor number one, let's just say he or she owns a property. Now the things that he or she has to pay is the down payment, the insurances, the inspection costs, the closing costs, the property taxes, etc. Right? Investor number two decides to just rent, specifically rent a property, just rent, pay monthly, and that's it. Now for investor number one, he or she is paying a lot, has a lot of expenses, especially in the beginning when you're actually closing the property. Whereas investor number two decides to, instead of owning a property, he or she rents, and he or she uses the difference from renting to actually invest in the financial markets. So these assets: stocks, commodities, cryptocurrency, rental income, dividend paying stocks, bonds, etc. ETFs, index funds, you name it. Now, it's very interesting because investor number two has more savings that he or she can actually invest to actually build wealth over time. And the more you do that, you can actually get interest, dividends, and if he or she decides to invest in property, those three things, you can receive those potentially in perpetuity and from the other assets as well. But specifically for perpetuity assets, like these three, he or she is able to use that to build wealth and actually, build wealth over time exponentially, right? Now, for investor number one, he or she just holds the property. He or she doesn't rent it out, just lives in it for the rest of his or her life and doesn't even decide to sell it. He just wants to put it on for generation to generation. Yes, you're making money from the equity, but you never really make money until you actually sell the property. So Robert Kiyosaki said in one of his famous quotes that your house is not an asset, it's actually a liability, because it's taking money out of your pocket every single month. Whereas assets, cash flowing assets, for example, rental income from properties, that's an asset because it's putting money in your pocket every single month, right? So let's go back to this example. Investor number two, the one who is renting, decides to, let's put numbers here. Let's say he rents his property for $1,000 and that's it. There's no other cost, just pre-authorized checks, maybe 11 post-dated checks, first and last, etc. Investor number one just has to pay for a bunch of stuff, right? So it's taking up his or her income. It's so much. Investor number two has more options to invest. He has more savings, and he builds his knowledge over time that he's able to make a return that is above and beyond inflation, right? Which is about 2 to 3% in most countries. Now with investor number two, as he or she builds wealth, right, that the money is being is growing exponentially, right, to a point where that wealth is paying for his or her expenses, right? Now, obviously, it does involve knowledge. It does involve a lot of knowledge about investing, and it does involve knowledge about the financial markets. But as you go on and you have a lot of savings and you invest it into assets that just produce cash flow, that can actually help pay for rent, right? I wanted to actually mention something because it's interesting that central banks are printing a lot of money around the world. So inflation is going up and it's not keeping up with wages. So if you were to go on that strategy, just make sure that you are building your knowledge as well over time, or you have a financial advisor that's guiding you to actually go into assets that can actually build you wealth over time. Now, going into buying a property to actually flip it and then to actually put it into these in these assets, that's another story. But for this explanation only, renting a property would be much better, because you have more savings, you build your knowledge over time, and then you go into cash producing assets that pay you in perpetuity, that pay for your expenses. Then as you go on, you can basically retire, right? Whereas, especially for people who are just starting out and they don't have any assets at the beginning, let's say they only have a job, that's their only primary source of income, and they go into properties, most or all of the income is coming from their pocket. It's not coming from any other asset other than their job or their business, right? But if you can actually, for example, you rent and then you build wealth over time and you're able to produce cash flowing assets, that and your job or your business can actually help you supplement your rent. So it's a very interesting concept. So in the beginning, it would definitely be better to rent, because you can build that wealth, and not only that, you're also liquid. You have access to your capital. So if you want to do something like, let's say there's another market crash, or there's a market crash or a market correction, like you saw in March of 2020 when everything happened. You're now liquid, and now liquid meaning you can just sell your assets and get cash right away. You can put that into other assets when the time is necessary, when you feel that it's the right time, and you can just sell it right there. You just click a button, boom. Whereas if you have a property and you own a property, it's not as liquid as the other assets here, right? So that's what I wanted to say for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed my voice, because I just got a lavalier, so it's very interesting. Hopefully it will serve me good in my future videos. Anyway, just out here chilling. It's so sunny outside. There was like a wasp and almost like bit me, but like I'm still good. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, concerns that you want to discuss down below, or if you want to share your experiences, please feel free to do it. And if you found value in this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends and all that good stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.